What's up, vinyl community? It's Robert Fithen, and today I want to talk to you about those German Beatles albums that we've all been hearing about, probably some of us for years. Do they sound as good as everybody really says they do? Now, I've been researching for years Steve Hoffman forums and the Discogs comment section for looking for the best Beatles pressings for a while, and then Parlogram Auctions put out a series of videos, just like Andrew's always doing over there. Great videos like the German Beatles video he did, excellent information there, where he remade the stereo box set. Lots of great pressing information there. The Rubber Soul video he did, and the vinyl visual video. Those all come into play in this video of mine. So huge thanks to Parlogram Auctions channel for just basically existing and giving us all this great Beatles information. Now, I'm not going to go in chronological order with these because I wanted to do this one first. This is the German version of Magical Mystery Tour. This is one of the ones that everybody is always talking about as sounding absolutely incredible. Now, this is the first time that Magical Mystery Tour was released in true stereo on vinyl, so that was a huge deal back in 1973. Of course, the Capitol version, fake stereo on Penny Lane and Baby You're a Rich Man, All You Need Is Love, all those. You don't want those versions at all. But the thing about stereo Magical Mystery Tour is, well, everybody's had it in stereo since like around 87. Here is a 1988 pressing on Parlophone, where it's all in true stereo, no problem there. You also get a nice gatefold, you get the original artwork, and you get that 24-page, color photo. So why not just go with this version here? Well, it's more than just being in true stereo. This one sounds pretty good, and of course, like I said, in true stereo, but this is an adventure. This is phenomenal. This is the best sounding Beatles LP I think I've ever heard. The spatial sound on this, the framework of the stereo is amazing. Every instrument is so detailed, and the sound floor is just amazing. It's incredible. It's one of the things that actually lived up to the hype. And, I don't know how everybody's doing these days, but I think most of us last couple of years probably not living our best lives. And it's nice to see little rays of light like this where something actually turns out to be pretty incredible. So yeah, the Beatles Magical Mystery Tour, you want the one with the Hertzu in this orange and white thing here. You don't want the big red one. That's an earlier version where the things are going to be in duophonic. It's not sounding very good. So you've got to get the specific one. What you're looking for is the A1 B3 matrix. B3 on side 3. Make sure it has that in the dead out, or the run out. And make sure it has this Hertzu, or maybe a later one with the Apple here. But you want that B3 matrix on side B. That's what you want, and you are in for an incredible experience. Not real big on the back cover artwork here. Just John Lennon. I think that's George. And what is that all about? And a real nitpicky, but they're the Beatles, not just Beatles. But anyway, excellent. This is like I said, an adventure in sound. I absolutely love this. I want to make this first because if you get this and you play it and you're like, well, it sounded great, but it's not a big deal, then don't bother with the others, because this right here is as good as it gets for not only German Beatle LPs, but Beatles LPs in general. The Magical Mystery Tour, B3 on side B run-out matrix. Another German release you may have heard a lot about is this Die Beatles, Please Please Me, und Andre Nuller. This is well known for being an incredible sounding improvement over any other pressing of Please Please Me. It's obviously from German. It does not say Die Beatles. It says Die Beatles. And what else it says on here? It's got this great back cover, text here, which I originally assumed was just a German translation of what's on the UK version, but it's not. It's totally this new write-up in German, and they do it in kind of a humorous way. Each one of the Beatles is described the exact same way. Let's say, like, George Harrison plays lead guitar. His hair is dark hair combed forward. John Lennon, dark hair combed forward, plays rhythm guitar. Paul McCartney, dark hair combed forward, plays bass. So everybody is dark-haired, combed forward. Individually, I guess that's supposed to be funny. But another thing I thought was cool about all this text on here in German is the way that they really point out that the Beatles are playing organic rock music. They're not adding a bunch of effects. They're not adding a bunch of studio trickery, which I didn't even know was a thing in 1964 when this came out in Germany. But apparently they're really proud of the fact that the Beatles play their rock right from the pan, hot from the pan, as it says, and they do not add all kinds of effects and stuff. And so they make a big deal about that in the liner, which I thought was kind of interesting. Each song is anecdoted to. It says that Paul sings Anna, which is incorrect, but for the sound of this, though, sounds excellent. Sounds great. It's one of the best Please Please Me's I've heard. It's not going to sound as good as Magical Mystery Tour because the recording process is not as good as it was when they did Magical Mystery Tour. But this does sound pretty good, especially songs like Baby It's You and A Taste of Honey, which are my two least favorite songs on here. But those sound pretty killer. You can get the little dynamics that are kind of missing from other pressings of this I heard. It's not gonna, it didn't blow me away though, like Magical Mystery Tour. I don't think this is going to be quite the adventure in sound that one was. But this is an incredible, definitely an incredible pressing of Please Please Me. And just like any other, you got to be particular with which one you get. You want the A2, B2 matrix set. A2 on side 1, B2 on side 2. Otherwise, you may get an inferior earlier release that just sounds blah. It sounds kind of meh. If you want this one that everybody's talking about, A2, B2 matrices, and make sure you have the Hertz here in this newer version, not the older red one. That's kind of a giveaway. You don't have to look at the matrix or pull the record out. If you see that red Hertz there, that is an earlier one. You don't want that one. Now, this the Beatles cover was only released for like 1 or maybe 2 pressings with this great stereo sound. Then they switched over to the more familiar cover where they're all on the balcony that you see in the UK one, and that has a great pressing quality too. Not quite as good as this, because this is like an earlier pressing of the same, I guess, matrix, because that has the A2, B2 as well. But I just like having this kind of neat cover. I didn't want the one with the regular Please Please Me cover. I just think this is really cool to have all of this German back here, which I tried to translate the best I could. Of course, Herzu, if you're not aware, it's a really weird thing because this company is kind of a TV record label thing. Like you would have here in the US, it would be like Sessions or Heartland Music or something like that. Not so much K-Tel, because that's all like hits and stuff, but like, you know, like Heartland Music presents the best of Fats Domino and the best of Lawrence Welk and things like that. That's what Herzu is in Germany. So it's kind of weird that they have such an incredible pressing of the Please Please Me album from the Beatles. Once again, released in 1964 in Germany, as it was the second Beatles album released there. The first album from the Beatles ever released in Germany is actually their second album with the Beatles, and this was released about a week earlier than it was in the UK. A couple of interesting things about this. It does sound a little nicer than most pressings I've heard. It's not the blow-away that Magical Mystery Tour is, and it doesn't sound as good as Please Please Me, but it is a nice album to have, and I love the German kind of color scheme there with the big Beatles on here, as opposed to the little with the Beatles up here that the UK one offers. Love the back cover, too. I love those bold titles like that. They are sort of, you know, they got the little embossed there kind of thing going on, little raised letters. So, so are the Beatles, I think. Yeah, those are raised letters as well. So a really nice package there from Germany with the Beatles release. But it's not that much of an improvement. If you do want to get the best one, though, you want to get the one with the best quality of this. You do want to look for the number up here with the C062. You don't want an earlier pressing of this. You want the later reissue, which is kind of the case with a lot of these German ones. You're not looking for first pressings. You're looking for specific pressings. And this one is kind of like, you can get kind of a few different ones and get the same result with this one. It's not as specific. But something interesting on here is All My Loving. This has been discussed before on the Parlogram Auctions video for one place. Has a hi-hat intro. It has Ringo tapping his hi-hat a few times. Paul breathes, and then the song starts. So you don't get that kind of exclusive, like, unedited intro, I don't think, anywhere else. It sounds like this. And so, as I mentioned, we're not going in chronological order. We are up to Revolver, though, which is another great German pressing that is surpasses a lot of the other ones. I'm telling you, man, you got to check out the German Beatles video on Parlogram Auctions. This is where I got a lot of ideas to buy these. Steve Hoffman forums as well. But yeah, the German Revolver looks pretty much the same. The Apple is different, I noticed, though. I got that kind of cheap-looking Apple logo, which always kind of turned me off. I've had this Revolver for kind of quite a while, and this is my go-to one. But other than that Apple logo, this is incredible sounding. The bass is what a lot of people talk about on this one. And you want the specific Apple one. Again, you do not want the earlier Blue Label one. You want the Apple one with the A1, B1 matrix on here. This sounds incredible. Like I said, it's all about that bass, that bass. The bass is not like pumped up like it is on, you know, CD releases where they just crank it all up and it just sounds like a subwoofer turned up. This is true bass. This is the bass that you would hear if you have a high-end quality system detecting those little bass notes out of there and pumping them up. And this just sounds absolutely incredible. If you're looking for the best German sounding ones of the ones I'm showing, I would do Magical Mystery Tour first, and then if you love the way that sounds, you're hungry for more, I would do Revolver second. Now I do not have Sgt. Pepper, but I understand that sounds great too, especially with those that perfect bass frequency going on there. One thing that the Parlogram auction video also did was a video on vinyl like reading. Like you can look at vinyl and you can see like what the song sounds like. I can do that. I've been doing that since I was a little kid when I had nothing better to do than sit and watch records turn around and spin around and around and around. He had this kind of game he played on the channel where he showed like Beatles records, just the vinyl part here, and you had to figure out what record it was. I got 9 out of 10, but I bet I would have got 10 out of 10 if I would have seen the record spinning. Because if you see the record spinning and you look at it and you do that visual thing, you can kind of tell how fast the tempos of some of the songs are. And the reason I wanted to bring that up, if you know about vinyl reading and you know the different textures in the vinyl showing how loudness and whatever, a cool pattern is on the Taxman song. So take out your Revolver. Actually, you probably want to take out your American Revolver if you have it, because it's actually a little more pronounced on this one because the song is a little bigger because there's only 6 tracks. So the songs are a little more spread out. So it's a little more pronounced on here, but check it out. As the song goes around, you can kind of see this pattern, this expanding like V pattern. Almost looks like a wave, you know, cresting or whatever in the middle. And then you get that ring around the middle where the guitar solo is. You want to look at it from this angle. This is showing the right channel, not the other angle, which will show you the left channel. But you can kind of see that little neat design there. And that's, of course, because Taxman has those huge, those huge like pangs in it. Down, down, down. That's what that looks like on vinyl when it's spinning. So a kind of a neat little pattern there in Taxman. And if you're really good at vinyl reading, here's a Beatles compilation. You should be able to tell me which one of these songs is Taxman. Can you figure out which one it is? It is track 3. This is side 2 of the Beatles Rock and Roll Music Volume 2. Another thing people are asking about on forums and things is German albums like this one. This is an original pressing of the Beatles 1962 to 1966, of course. And what about stereo on here? Well, yes, I Feel Fine and Ticket to Ride are in true stereo on this, unlike the American version. And the I Feel Fine, you get that little whispering intro thing, but All My Loving on here does not have that hi-hat thing that the German with the Beatles has. So, but it does have the true stereo versions of I Feel Fine and Ticket to Ride, which makes this better than the US version. And this is my go-to version for when I hear this album. I always put on the German one. Okay, let's talk about Rubber Soul. We're done with the German releases. This is just kind of some bonus ones here. This one is the Hazel Yarwood cut. Now, she was a record cutter at Parlophone, and she usually did classical music. But she did do this one pressing of Rubber Soul. It's the 3rd pressing. This was out in, I think, 67 or so, because the original pressing, of course, comes out in December of 65. So by the time they're around to the 3rd pressing, this is probably 67, and it does have this nice, very good penmanship on here of a previous owner. I guess this is who it's from. I given it as a gift on the 17th of December of 1967 from John Stevens, Sunday, Canopy Street. That is. I'm gonna leave. I love that that's on there. That's very English. And so yeah, this is a UK pressing, mono, and if you want the Hazel Yarwood pressing, it is -5 on both sides. That's the one you want. Now, what makes this different? I figured it would have a little bit of a different sound since she's a classical person mostly, and it does. It sounds a little more bouncy, I guess would be the word. There are certain things that kind of punch and then pull back real quick. Like instead of like a boom, it's more like a boom, You know, sort of like, not quite that extreme, but you see what I mean? Things don't linger as long as, it seems to be a little more punchy in, and the bass is very detailed. Paul's bass in You Won't See Me is, you can really hear that, where it doesn't really stand out so much on other pressings I've heard. Nowhere Man sounds like it should. With the real high, you know, frequencies that John Lennon wanted. He wanted it to sound like everybody had all the treble turned all the way up. That mix remains in here. And of course, this doesn't have that reverb that was added in '87. So already this is going to sound better. And in mono as well. Rubber Soul, of course, the stereo version, they went back on some of the tracks to do that. Vocals on the right side, instruments on the left. I think that was kind of passe by this point. So I actually like the mono version. Now, side 2 of this, what goes on is just pretty incredible on this. It really rocks. For a song that I'd never really think of as rocking too much. Great opener for side 2, and it sounds incredible on here. I was not expecting that. Actually, side 2 does sound a little bit better, in my opinion, than side 1 on this Hazel Yarwood edit, or pressing. Get it, you might want to listen to side 2 first. But yeah, not as big of a deal as like Magical Mystery Tour Revolver, but if you're looking for kind of a different Revolver sound, a little crisper, a little clearer, and like I said, a little punchier, you might want to try the Hazel Yarwood pressing Dash 5 of Rubber Soul in mono. Got those foldbacks too, that everybody loves so much. Okay, and that leads me to my last album I'm going to show you, and that is Help. Now, on the Parlogram auctions and on a couple places on the Steve Hoffman forums, they were talking about the Netherlands pressings of Beatles records. That's kind of like a little hidden secret. Don't tell too many people. But the Netherlands pressings use a little bit different technology, and still had the master tapes. So a couple of them might sound a little better than their British counterparts, like this Help one is supposed to. Now, I ordered this from Discogs, and like I said, I had the Revolver for a while. I've had Meet the Beatles for a while, but some of these are new to me. And like this one, I got from Discogs, and this is supposed to be the best one from the Netherlands. Unfortunately, I didn't get the one I ordered. I got one from Denmark. Two-box reissue with a label that you can see looks not a lot like the one I ordered. I don't know how you make a mistake like that. It's literally not even in... It's not the same cut. This is from Denmark. It's not even in the same language. But anyway, so this sounds okay. I don't think it sounds as good as the famous Netherlands pressing, but I wanted to have that for the video, and unfortunately I do not. I have this Denmark version of Help, which sounds okay. Organ and a lot of separation in this. The organ in The Night Before sounds like it's like coming from another room, or it's not mixed in with the song. It's very clear, but it just sounds like it's on another track or something over here. It's kind of a weird mix. You've Got to Hide Your Love Away is a mess on this, but that's hard to master with that kind of those brushes and everything. So Help. Maybe one day if I get the original or get the one I wanted, I can do a review on that. But now this is just a basic Denmark, I think, reissue copy on 2-box EMI. It sounds okay. And there you have it, German Beatles, with this one being the crown. Get this one. What is it? A1B3. B3 is the big one on side 2. You want to look for that. You want to look for the updated Hertzu or the Apple logo here. Bad cover art, but just ignore that. Unfortunately, you don't get a 24-page booklet, but you do get, like I said, the best Beatles, best sounding Beatles LP I've ever heard. It lives up to the hype. Like I said, so great to have this. Maybe they'll be selling quick with all these videos coming out, people talking about how great it is. But yeah, it lives up to it. The Beatles Magical Mystery Tour. Not only true stereo, which isn't that big of a deal anymore because there's a lot of true stereo out there with this, but it's more about the soundscape and just the floor, sound floor, and everything about this is just magnificent. So I would definitely, if you're going to get into the German Beatles albums, I would make this your very first one. I'm Robert Fitton. Thank you so much for watching. It's kind of turning into a Beatles channel a little bit here. I'm definitely going to be talking about some other bands, like, you know, some newer releases, some new old stuff that I've gotten, like The Damned from the UK. I got a nice orange vinyl version from Record Store Day a few years ago. Hawkwind album. Got a new Vinyl Underground. Got the Ace album. Read that Squeeze book, now I got the Ace album. So I'll be talking about these and a bunch more in my next video. Please subscribe so you don't miss any of them, and consider giving the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Once again, I'm Robert Fitton. Thanks for all the great vinyl community videos that you guys have been putting out. Thanks for all the great comments, and thank you so much for watching.